What is going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Nick and your boy Mike, and we are back once again, man, on this beautiful, beautiful Memorial Day weekend, man. I hope everybody had a great weekend. We'll get into that. But before we do, I'm sorry, we got to go through all the formalities, man. Just make sure you check us out, like and subscribe if it's your first time here on our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Also, make sure you check out our YouTube you can tell I'm all out of it today. I hope everybody's feeling the same way. But anyway, make sure you check us out on Facebook and Instagram, Nothing But Niners, all the way spelled out. You can hit us up on Twitter and Snapchat, Nothing But Nine. That's the number 9, ERS. That's Twitter and Snapchat. And you can check us out at www.nothingbutniners.com. Yes, I said it, nothingbutniners.com. You can check us out there where we got a great slew of great writers putting out articles over there, man. And we might be bringing you something new soon. Hopefully, we can get that apparel site up as well. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Eyes open, ears peeled, I guess you could say. But man, what's going on, Mike?
Not a damn thing, man. It's been a long weekend, man. Like you said, Memorial Day weekend. We got to get into that a little bit. Show some respect for the people who have served for us and everything. But it's been a long weekend, Nick, man. I saw you out there posting some nice pictures by the water and everything. Like, what was going on with you? What were you getting into this weekend, man?
Yeah, so my cousin, who I haven't touched base with in about 9 years, I guess. I haven't seen him in about 9 years. Finally got in recontact with him. He never had a Facebook or anything like that. And somehow or another, my mom spotted him on Facebook. I hit him up on my mom's account because I don't have a Facebook anymore. And yeah, so we touched base, man. And he has a house right in Beach Haven West down the shore. And it's where he lives year round, which is pretty cool. So he's like, yeah, come on down, man, for the weekend. You know, come enjoy the water and everything like that. He's got a slide going off the dock. He's got a diving board. Obviously, I didn't do any of that because of my shoulder. I can't really swim right now. But, you know, it was just nice just to grab a drink, man, sit there on the dock, listen to the seagulls, and watch the boats and jet skis and, you know, do a little bit of crabbing and stuff like that. But it was a nice weekend.
That sounds super relaxing, man. I would have loved to have been there. See, like something like that. You know, you guys weren't in the sand or anything. You guys were on the docks, right? You got the nice little breeze coming in off the water. Got the seagulls going. I'd have had a nice cigar, and especially if you went out there on Saturday where it was more cloudy. So it was like in the 70s. It was not that beating down 90. Oh, man, that must have been beautiful.
Yeah, Saturday was beautiful, man. It was literally like, I think like 71 degrees down the shore. You know, and obviously traffic, but we really didn't leave the house, man. We stopped at the liquor store on the way in and pretty much just chilled on the dock and chilled at the house, you know, pretty much the whole weekend. So Sunday was a little different. It was hot as heck out, you know, sitting in that sun and baking, but I wish I would have been able to jump in the water. But like I said, I couldn't swim because of the arm, but I would have been swimming like this, like trying to get up, doggy paddling with one arm and with alcohol in me. So it wouldn't have been good.
No, absolutely not, man. And as far as me, man, this weekend it was a really long weekend. I took off of work Friday because my son had a little concert, so that was cool. And then Saturday, my family reunion was actually in Carolina, but I couldn't make it down there. So there was my mom and her children, so my siblings. We all came over to my house and we had a little cookout over here, like an impromptu type of thing, just to get the family together and stuff like that. And that was, again, Saturday was perfect weather, man. We were outside all night long. We lit the fire pit. We didn't even have to though, but it was nice out there, man. It was really good. And then yesterday was Sunday. What do? We had a baby shower to go to. My cousin is having his first child, so they had one for the men in one place in Burlington, and one was down the street somewhere else for the women. So I took my mom out there, and me and my kids went to that. My wife went to an adult-only party. Her sister was throwing some kind of adult-only party, and then my mom at the end of the night was like, you know what? You want, like, I can take the kids. You go surprise your wife over there at the adult party. So I went over there. I got there, and they're like doing like the flip cup and beer pong and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, you're supposed to bring your own beer and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, like I'm scrambling now. Like I got to go find somewhere to get beer. I don't drink beer. You know that, Nick. Like I'm not a beer drinker. So people were like, oh, just go get something real quick. Cause I found this little spot and this guy has Budweiser. So I bring back Bud thinking people are going to drink it. Right. Wrong. I get there. They were like, who the hell drinks Budweiser? I'm like, oh my God, you guys are beer shaming. I don't even drink beer. So now I'm stuck with all this beer. I'm trying to finish this stuff. And I don't know the purpose of this stuff. This does nothing for me. Like you don't get a nice buzz from it or anything. I don't know, man, but you guys will see be sipping on that throughout the night. And then today we just got, like I said, today was about R&R, rest, relaxation, restoration. You know, we were really just trying to recuperate from the long weekend. You know, there was a lot of stuff going on all weekend. And then that takes us to Memorial Day. You know, I don't know if you have anyone who served in your family and lost their lives, but I do have two family members that I want to show some love to really quick. Quinn Sykes and his father, Dallas. Those are my cousins. I have a lot of people in my family who served in the military, including my father, my stepfather, and things like that. My uncles, my great uncles, but none of them have lost their lives except those two. And those were great uncles and his son. So my cousin Quinn Sykes and Dallas Sykes, rest in peace. And, you know, today there was an interesting question in our group chat. It was, why do people say Happy Memorial Day when it's about, you know, deceased soldiers and all? But my thing is we're reflecting on the positivity. They sacrifice their lives so we can have a good life. You know, and that's what it's about. And that's why it's a happy day. You're not mourning as much as you are showing appreciation. Thank you for what you've done and celebrating their lives, you know? So that's how I took it. I don't know about you though.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's about remembering and celebrating, you know, for those who have sacrificed to give us what we want, you know, and what the flag stands for, and you know, the freedom that we have here in the United States. So, yeah, you know, my brother-in-laws both served in the Navy. My father was a Marine. My brother is in the Army. You know, got a ton of people who were in the service. So, you know, a couple good friends that were, you know, fighting in Fallujah as Marines and things like that, but never had anybody that's lost, thank God. You know, that it's just when you sign up, especially back then, when you sign up, you know that it's like, you know, like when you lost your great uncle and your cousin, back then it was just like some people didn't even have the choice to sign up. It was just through the whole draft, you know. It's like your name got picked out as soon as you came out of high school, and this is what you were doing, you know. And I'm glad that we don't have to do that anymore. Obviously, we're not in desperate times like we are before, because there's thousands and thousands of people who volunteer to sign up for the military. And, you know, I went a different route, became a fireman. So, you know, but, you know, my hat's off to those guys, man, to all the men, the women, everybody who served. You know, this day is all about you guys and the way that, you know, we can speak our freedom and just live the way that we live anymore. So hats off to you guys, man. Much appreciated. And rest in peace to those who have sacrificed, to the families who have sacrificed as well. And yeah, God bless you all.
And again, this is for all those people out there. We don't mourn, we celebrate. So cheers to anyone out there watching. Take a sip of whatever it is that you're drinking. Nick, I'm sorry, man. We didn't pregame this. I couldn't tell you that we're going to take a cheers, but this is for the fallen. We celebrate. We don't mourn today. Hopefully Nick can run and go get something really quick, and we'll do it again. It'll be like, you know, a little more authentic and everything. But guys, while he's doing that, our talk today, it's super premature. No preseason games have happened. We don't know who's going to make the 90-man roster or anything. Oh, he's got the bag of the good stuff over there. I don't know if I can put the camera on him because I didn't start the video, but go ahead, Nick.
Hey, look here. I'll take a shot with you. You ready?
All right, here you go. So I got the other cup here with the good stuff in it. We'll take a cheers to that.
Salute.
There you go. All right.
There we go.
My man with the crown apple over there. Green cup, green bottle. All right. See, we in sync even when we not in sync, y'all. That's what we do. It's an NB Niners, baby. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So our topic tonight is going to be super early. Guys, don't hold us to this, but this is a slower time of the year. We got to find things to talk about, and we don't want to be redundant, right? We don't want to keep saying things over and over and over. So what we're going to do is it's a premature look at the playoff picture, all right? Every year, there's a little bit of turnover. 6 teams we know make the playoffs from each conference, NFC and AFC, right? Or division. Conference. No, it's conference, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to try to see, only on the NFC, because where the 49ers are, what teams are going to make it this year and what teams aren't. We're going to try to pull some of the teams that made it out and see if we can get the Niners at one of those spots out there, okay? There's going to be super duper, ridiculously early playoff prediction spots here. Nick, I'm excited to do it. I don't know if this is something you're looking forward to. It's going to be a little harder than I think we think it's going to be, but what are your thoughts on all this, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to roll with anything, but I think it's going to be a little harder to predict. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see what you come up with, and interesting to see what I come up with, and we'll have to go from there.
Oh shit! Sorry, I thought I was on mute this entire time. My bad. All
No.
right, so I got it pulled up here on Wikipedia. The teams from the NFC were as follows: we had the Saints at the first seed, we had the Rams the second seed, we had the Bears the third seed, the Cowboys the fourth seed. And the wild cards were the Seahawks and the Eagles. So again, this is all super early, guys. I'll be honest with you. All I'm focused on is trying to get my Niners in this playoff picture. That's what I'm focused on. Now, do I think we can take the number one spot as far as winning our division? Do you think we can outright win the division this year, Nick? And if so, you know what? No, we won't do that. We'll get to the Niners afterwards. Let's start with the NFC South. You got the Falcons, you got the Saints, you got the Panthers, and you got the Buccaneers. The Bucs have their new head coach, right? He decided to keep Jameis Winston. You got did they switch offensive coordinators over there for Atlanta? I know they were having a hard time with that guy, but they just got him like a year or two ago after Shanahan left. I can't remember if they switched offensive coordinators or not.
No, I think they kept the same coordinator.
Okay, so no big changes over there. They lost Tevin Coleman.
I think the only change over there is Dan Quinn is going to be calling the defensive plays.
Okay. They also got a good wide receiver. Did they get N'Keal Harry? Is that where he went? They got a good wide receiver in the draft to go across from Julio. I can't remember which one it was. I'll look it up really quick. But then you got Drew Brees and the Saints, who were steady Eddie. And then we got Cam, who was reportedly going to be healthy enough to start practicing soon, but we don't really know what's going to happen over there. I mean, I personally don't expect too much from the Panthers this year, but I could be wrong. You never know with that division. That division is so in flux. But what do you think? Who do you think comes out of that division?
I think the Saints win that division. You got to look at it. Last year, they were on the cusp of a bad call of going to a Super Bowl. So I think they're going to be hungrier than ever. I think they have the talent to do it. They obviously have the quarterback. They have a good offense. They made some upgrades as well. I think the Saints take that division.
Okay, so I was completely wrong. The Falcons did not take a wide receiver. They took
N'Keal Harry went to the Patriots, didn't
he? Yeah, I think so. They took Chris Lindstrom and an offensive tackle in Caleb McGarry. And then they went to DB Kendall Sheffield. They didn't take anybody on offense except two running backs. So that's really it. So my apologies. I don't know why I thought they took a wide receiver over there. I might be thinking about 2018. Either way. So yeah, with that being said, I can see that offensive line getting better, but I think I'm going to agree with you. I think the Saints still win that division.
Yeah, I think if it comes down to either one, I think it's going to be obviously the Saints or the Falcons. But I think the Saints. I think the Saints start off. I think the Saints start off rough this year, but finish strong. I think they come out and lose like 0-2, and then maybe 0-3, and then they just go on a run. It takes a while for Drew Brees. I know Drew Brees isn't the guy that he used to be, arm-wise and stuff like that, but they still have a heck of a lot of weapons over there. So I'm not worried about just his arm strength. I think it comes down to the Falcons and the Saints, but I think the Saints take the division.
Tell you what, man, I'm not going to lie. I've hated him because he was here against us with the Cardinals, but I really like BA as a head coach. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with Jameis Winston and that group over there. There's a ton of talent on that team on both sides of the ball. There's a lot of talent over there in Tampa Bay. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. That was my dryer going on.
Time's up.
Yeah. All right. Next one is going to be the NFC North. We'll discuss that really quick. I saw a comment in here. When are we going to see Mike attempt to throw 60 yards?
Oh, Nick, yeah, we need to do that.
What's up with this weekend, man? I'm available.
Saturday morning I'm busy, but maybe Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning.
All right. Let me
Good.
double check my calendar really quick. Saturday, yeah, that's the first. I got nothing to do there, so we'll have a impromptu special for you guys on that day where you guys can see me make a fool of myself. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna get the 60.
I gotta find my long tape measure too.
I'm gonna get the 60. No, sorry. I'll throw from one end zone and then we'll try to get it past the 50 and we'll measure it from there. So it'll be easy to measure out there. All right.
All right.
And then I'm also gonna see how well I can punt. We'll do some directional punting, long distance punting, and hang time punting. Show you guys that I should have been picked in the 4th round.
And we will go live. It won't be we'll post the best outcomes.
Oh, you don't want to do it live? See, Nick is sparing y'all. I like that. All right, so we'll post it here on the website. All right. I mean,
I'm saying we'll go live so that there's no like you can't say, oh, this is what I did. I want them to see the fuck ups too. This ain't no outtake take number 2. Nope. Did you get one try?
All right. No pressure. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. All right, let's keep this thing moving here. Let's move to the NFC North. Now, last year, the Bears won the division. Aaron Rodgers had those injuries and back and forth off IR and things like that, which is still something that the league is just going to ignore, but whatever. Let's see. The Bears lost Vic Fangio, but that was really it. We're going to see that defense still should be pretty stout. They made some pretty good moves this offseason, if I'm not mistaken. Their draft wasn't too bad. Let me just pull that up really quick. But Nick, who do you think is coming out of that division? The Lions picked up a good tight end in the draft. That much I do know. The Packers, what did they do in the draft? I don't remember. And then there's the Vikings. The Vikings went after offensive line to get some time for Kirk Cousins, and they're hoping to take that step forward and be back in the playoff race. That's a really tough division over there. Who do you got coming out of that one?
Man, that's a tough choice because you got Green Bay got 2 guys for pass rush, which is going to help their defense significantly.
And they drafted another one. They picked up 2 guys. They picked up the Smith guys.
Yeah,
Smith
Darius and
Preston
Smith. And then they drafted the hell's his name? Can't think of his name right now. But so I think the Lions take a big step this year. I think they take a big step this year. And then you got the Bears, I think, are going to take a huge step back without Vic Fangio. I really do. I think they're going to take a huge step back. But
they took Riley Ridley. That's who they took in the 2nd round. The Bears.
The Bears took Riley Ridley.
Yeah, David. I mean, not in the 2nd round. The 4th round. That was their second pick.
And then who was their pass rush that the Packers took?
Packers got. Let me pull that up here.
Was it Rashawn Gary?
No, Gary went to the Browns, didn't he? I mean, not the Browns. I'm thinking the Redskins. The Redskins didn't take him. They took a different pass rusher. Hold on. Let me see here. Packers. I'm doing this on my phone while we're doing this. So sorry, guys. All right, the Packers took. Oh yeah, Rashawn Gary in the 1st round. You're right.
So this is going to be tough, man. I think the Lions take a step forward, but I also think the Bears take a step back, like I said. But I think the Packers getting that pass rush that they were needing from last year. You can never count Aaron Rodgers out, man. As much as I want to, with Adams over there, I got to go with the Packers winning the North.
Interesting. I'm gonna say the Vikings. I'm going to give it to the Vikings winning the North this year because I think that locker room over there in Green Bay is not going to work out well. They got a new head coach who is the same age or younger as Aaron Rodgers, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be kind of not so much bullying him, but like not as prone to listen to him. If you have a hard time listening to a head coach that won 2 Super Bowls already, I don't see him listening to this other guy coming in here. And I think that locker room is going to fall apart. Not that it speaks to the talent or anything like that. I don't have much faith in Rashawn Gary. I never liked him in college. I don't like him in the pro level. As far as the Lions, I don't think they're gonna. I think Matt Stafford's a big problem in Detroit. I really, really do. And I know he just got that extension, or he's about to get it, or whatever. But I think he got it already. I'm not sold on Matt Stafford. Look, man, you see what happened with their tight end that left and went to Indy. All of a sudden, he becomes a touchdown machine, right? Couldn't do anything over there with Matt Stafford. They've been looking for. They drafted him in the first round, also. They were looking for someone to come out there and be. I think it's Matt Stafford, man. I really do. I never wanted to be that guy. I always kind of thought I was a little even keeled on him. You know, I don't like. Oh, he can't beat teams that are over 500 and all that stuff. And his record is atrocious against 500 or better teams. But I mean, I always think that it's who you play, not when you play them, and whatever. But I'm starting to think it's Stafford that's a problem. So I'm not going to give it to them.
I agree with you. I think Stafford needs to I think he's one of kind of like our show, step up or step off. I think that's kind of what Matt Stafford is over there in Detroit. He's got it. I know health has been a big issue for him, but the best quarterback still in that division is still Aaron Rodgers. By far. Like I said, I think the Bears are decent enough offensively. I think they have a lot of talent on defense, but I think their defense is going to take a little bit of a step back, even with Khalil Mack there, the way that he upped their defense. But losing Vic Fangio is huge, man. We went through that. We know what losing that type of coach can do to your line, your defense in general. That's the only reason I think they take a step back. But I think the Bears finish second. I think it probably goes Packers, Bears, and then real close, maybe even with the same record with the Vikings and the Lions this year.
Yeah, I got the Bears in second, Packers in third, though. I got Vikings first, Bears second. I don't think that – all right, so the Niners we took a huge step back when we lost Vic Fangio, but that same offseason, we lost a lot of other good players on defense. We lost two linebackers. We lost 2 or 3 defensive linemen. We switched from a 3-4 to a 4-3. Like there was a lot of stuff that happened that the Bears aren't going to go through at all. They're still going to have that defensive front and that secondary. I think they lost the safety. What's Amos? Is that the safety that they lost over there? I think they lost a safety. What's that?
With Chicago?
Yeah, I think they lost a safety in free agency, but that's really it. So I don't think that they're going to take a huge step back like the Niners did when Fangio left. So it's a little bit different for them. Adrian Amos, I believe, is who it was that they lost. But
yeah,
I don't think it's going to happen with the Bears. They're not going to lose as much talent as we did when Vic Fangio left. And you got to remember that Fangio, he's not just some wizard that walks in, snaps a finger, and then all of a sudden your defense is good. It took him 3 seasons. People don't they got to think that Bears defense wasn't as dominant as it was year 1 or year 2. It wasn't until he got Mack that they really flipped that switch. He's got to have his pass rusher there. And so, people are going to say, is it the talent or is it the coach? The Niner fans all believe it's the talent. I mean, it's the coach because of what we went through. But a lot of 49er fans don't take into account the pieces that we lost that same offseason. We lost a lot of good pieces there, and we switched schemes. So I don't think they're going to take a huge step back on the defense. They might. Vic Fangio was a guy that trusts his men, and, you go out there and you beat your man. He's not going to give you a bunch of fancy schemes and blitzes and things like that. They might get better. They might be more exotic, more aggressive. So we'll see what happens there. But I do like the Bears, but I got the Vikings making a push. Maybe it's just me, cheering for sucker man Kirk Cousins. My wife is messing with me. I'm so glad y'all can't see what she's doing over there. Oh my God, this is inappropriate. But yeah, so I got the Bears in second in that division. Vikings going first. And I could be way off with the Vikings, but I know they invest in that offensive line. And I want to see them do some things over there in Minnesota. So I'm going to go with the Vikings win the division. Aaron Rodgers coming in third just because, like you said, he's the best quarterback in that division, but he comes with a ton of excuses every year. It's not going to change. I've seen so many times this offseason that the Packers don't have any help for Aaron Rodgers. When are they going to stop saying that? When is that excuse going to stop? He's had 2 of the best offensive linemen in the league every single year. He's got at least a top 5 wide receiver every single year. People are going to say, oh, he's making that wide receiver. But between Adams, Cobb, Nelson, Like you just keep going back to his history, and Aaron Rodgers has had really good weapons with him, even tight ends. And then people say, "Oh no, he doesn't have any help. He doesn't have any help." And the only thing that they hitch their wagon on is that they've never had a running back that's like a 1,000-yard guy, but that's because they're not a run-first team. So I don't know, man. The excuses for Aaron Rodgers are just ridiculous, in my personal opinion. The guys in the NB Niners chat know how I feel. I wish you guys. You're so lucky I can't switch the camera. Nick is over here looking like a pirate, but I can't switch the cameras. But yeah, so I don't know, man. I got Rodgers in third, and then the Lions coming in fourth.
All right. We shall see.
No, show him your pirate look, man.
I was just putting this over my eye. Good. Just fucking around over here.
All right. So then we're going to keep it moving now. We're going to move to the NFC East. Last year, the Cowboys won the division. Alex Smith had the Redskins in first place. And then once he got injured, they struggled to win many games after that. And they didn't do much. Alex Smith is not going to play this year coming up. And the Cowboys have some tough decisions to make. They locked up DeMarcus Lawrence. That's a positive get for them. They have to also take care of Dak and Zeke. What happened? The Giants drafted a quarterback.
He's a spitting image of Eli.
He went to the Manning camp, and Archie approved him. So
did you see those pictures? They both made this same face.
It's the Manning face. It's the Manning face.
He must have learned that at camp.
Yeah. It's one of the first things
before we get on the field, you need to learn this.
So yeah, I mean, he passed with flying colors there. Let me see what else happened there. The Redskins, I don't think they're going to do much. Alex Smith isn't there. I think Colt McCoy is competing. I did like the Redskins draft a lot. I like their draft a lot. They got Montez Sweat, I believe, and they had someone else in the first round too. The quarterback, Haskins, right?
Haskins.
Yeah, they got Haskins. The Redskins had a solid draft. I really like their draft. I just don't think that they put it together this year. I hate the Cowboys. I'm never going to pick the Cowboys to win the division. So that leaves me between the Eagles and
the Giants.
No, I said the Giant. Oh, the Giants aren't going to do it either. All right, so I got the Eagles going this year.
Yeah, I got the Eagles winning it this year too, but it really depends on Carson Wentz, man. Like, it's just, for some reason, this Eagles team, and we're in Eagle Nation or whatever you want to call it, Eagle Country, whatever it is. But it just seems like when Nick Foles would come in and play, that team would rally around him. Like, it looked like every time Nick Foles was on the field, this team played harder and better for Foles than they did with Wentz. There was a lot of rumors out there about, this locker room not really molding well with Carson Wentz. But I think the Eagles do it this year, man. I like the running back they drafted. They also got Jordan Howard over there now, which will be a good 1-2 punch type of run game for them. They still have decent receivers. Their defensive line is stacked. Rotational players, like, all the way through it. Their corners, I'm still a little shabby about their corners. They did bring back whatchamacallit, who was on an ACL injury.
I wanted him. I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
He's only like 24, 25. He's young as hell. Oh God, what is his name? It's not Conley. I know who you're talking about too.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, what his name was. But I can't pick the Cowboys because I am a Cowboy hater. So obviously, Ronald Darby, that's who it was.
Darby, yes,
yeah,
Darby.
Shout out to West Coast because he just put in there Darby, and then I was like, okay, yeah, Ronald Darby. I couldn't remember it was on the tip of my tongue.
I was pulling it up. I pulled up the page of their transactions. I was going to find it, but yeah.
But I couldn't think of his name. But I can't pick the Cowboys, man. I can't. I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles this year, and that might be a little bit with a little bit of biasm because I don't want to see. I hate the Cowboys, so the Eagles.
Yeah, it's gonna be. For sure. I got the Eagles also. It's gonna be rough if Carson Wentz isn't ready, but I think it'll be okay. I do think Wentz comes back. I've seen people say that he's already their MVP candidate. I think I saw that on Twitter today, as a matter of fact. So I don't know how you're.
Well, I mean, it really depends. I mean, Carson Wentz has been injured his whole entire career. He's been on and off the field. It really is. I'm telling you, it's the same thing for him, man. Did they make a mistake by letting Nick Foles go? I know Nick Foles is more of a backup than he is a starter, but when he played as a starter for that team, he played well. And it really varies on systems that you go to. Did the Eagles make a mistake by bringing that? Carson Wentz's deal is coming up. You're going to have to pay him close to probably 18 to 20 million a year starter money, and he hasn't even proved anything. So it really comes down to Carson Wentz and how far that team can go.
Absolutely, yeah. I hope that Wentz is healthy. The NFL is more fun when the Eagles are good. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but they really are.
I think it's just because we're in Eagle country, so we see a lot more of it.
I thought that also, but I'll be honest with you, man. I feel the same way about the Browns. When the Browns are making noise, even if they're not in the playoffs, but they're just making noise and people are rallying behind the Browns, I have a lot more fun following the NFL. I like when the bad teams are suddenly doing something. I enjoyed the Bills making the playoffs, ending that 20-year drought or something crazy like that. I enjoy those times. As much as I hate them, I can't say I don't want people to throw tomatoes at me, but there's another team that's leaving the Bay Area that when they're interesting, the league is just more fun. It's just more fun to get some coverage out west. You know what I mean? So, those kind of things.
Well, you'll probably get that with Hard Knocks this year.
Yeah. People are killing you for the biasm. He meant bias, guys. Get off my guy, all right?
Look, I'm just saying biasm. Like, I don't want to be
Unlike Nick, I got his back. When y'all start killing me in the chat, Nick, don't defend me on it. I don't ever watch the chat.
I can never talk when you're talking, so you just keep going. I can never say, yo, guys, chill out.
Yeah, no, that was old, though. I got your back, though. I saw you call me a woman the other night. I went back and I watched. I had to see it.
I did, dude. I swear. I tell you that all the time, though. I tell you that to your face. I don't just tell you that on.
So what? That don't mean you tell the chat. Shut up.
You're like, check my eyelashes and shit.
I got thick ass eyebrows. I got to make sure they're laying right. All right.
See, woman.
All right, guys. But yeah, so no, get off my guy. He meant bias. Y'all know what he meant. But yeah, so I got the Eagles taking the division. Cowboys probably in second. I would love for the Cowboys to come in third, actually, but I got the Cowboys not doing it. All right. All right. Now here we go. NFC West. Last year, it was won by the Rams. They had the second best record in the entire league, actually, only second to the Saints. And the Saints actually won that tiebreaker because of the head-to-head game they had in the regular season. The Saints were better than them in both games. The officiating just destroyed that game on both sides, by the way. Not just that last missed pass play for the Saints, but the entire game officiating was really – I went back and watched that game again. It was a really bad game for officiating. The Saints offense seems to take a huge step back in the playoffs. I don't know what's going on. They just can't get it going. But anyway, I'm going to go on a limb here and say that it's a two-man race in the NFC West, and the Rams ain't one of those teams. God
damn it, that's what I was going to say.
I'm so glad I took a mic tonight. All right, go ahead. I'll stop talking. Go ahead.
No, I'm going to say the same thing. I think the Rams take a huge step back, and it's not because I think a little bit of it is with talent, okay? I think a little bit of it is with talent. I think their corner some of their corners are just not as good as they should be. But Jared Goff is going to take a step back this year. And the reason I say that is because I think he's been exposed. You've seen it in the Super Bowl. You've seen how he was rattled, seen how he couldn't – that offense did not work, right? Don't tell me people aren't going to go watch that tape of New England and L.A. and figure out what the Patriots were doing to stop L.A.'s powerful offense, right? But I think the Rams drop back this year, and I think it's because other teams are healthy throughout the whole year. And I think that's the Niners and Seattle. And the reason that I say Seattle is because, A, they've upped their offensive line a little bit. B, you can never count – I hate to say it, but you can never count Russell Wilson out as much as I hate to say it. But it's the truth. And then for the Niners, For the Niners, it really depends on health. I think I think Kyle Shanahan's playbook couldn't be fully open last year against Rams and or any team that we played last year, and it was a limited playbook because of all the injuries that we had. So I think this race is down to the Niners in Seattle, and like I said, I think this race comes down. And I said this in our early back schedule predictions. I said that the division for the NFC West comes down to the Niners in Seattle the last week that we play them there. And that is going to be a division game, and we're going to win the division over that.
Those are the same two teams I have being in the running for the NFC West. And let me tell you, I don't think it's going to be as close as you think it is, bro. I think the Niners run away. I think the Niners win the division by 3 games this year. Nick, I know that you know that I've had to hold tight to this whole, Niners to the Super Bowl thing, because I made a bet at the beginning of last season. But I'm holding tight to it, and I'm seeing it more and more every single day. And I got numbers on my side that are going to help me with this. But let's assume that Seattle for a second wins the division, right? There's still 2 wild card spots. So with the way that you and I have it shaking out, we both have the Saints still winning the NFC South. We both have the Eagles winning the NFC East. All right, our differences are Chicago is not winning it no matter how you look at it. You had the Packers in there, I had the Vikings in there. And then we both say that the Rams aren't winning it. So our differences are going to be with our division. We think it's a 2-man race between Seattle and the 49ers. And no matter how it goes, my question to you is, let's say Seattle, for whatever reason, let's say we both finish with an 11-5 record and the Seahawks, for whatever reason, have a tiebreaker. Are the 49ers good enough to get a what's the wild card playoff spot? Are we going to be better than the second place team in NFC South or the NFC North, where the Bears might be that second place team, or the Packers in my case? You know what I mean? Like, are we going to be good? I think the Packers are third place, but whatever. You know what I mean? I think we both have the Bears in second place also. Are we better than whoever's in second place in the NFC South? You know, I think we're better than the second place team in the NFC East. I think we're better than the second place team in our division because we are that team. So it comes down to those other 2 teams, those other 2 divisions. Are we better than the second best NFC South team? Are we better than the second best NFC North team? Now, we both had the Bears in that position. You had the Packers.
I think we're better than the Bears this year. I think our offense is going to be better than the Bears offense with a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo, the additions of Deebo Samuel, the addition of Jalen Hurd, and not to mention the dangerous-ass backfield. We're taking, I think, those 3 positions right there. We're better if healthy. Not to mention that they probably have us linebacker-wise easily, but I think our defensive line is going to be no joke this year. And I think we take it there as well. So I think we're a better team than Chicago this year.
All right, and what about the second place team in the NFC North, whether it be Atlanta or the Panthers or even Tampa Bay?
If it's Tampa Bay, yes. If it's Atlanta, it's going to be a little bit closer. I think Atlanta has some pieces on offense that kind of match up to ours. And who was the third team that we didn't take over there?
Panthers.
The Panthers. I think we're better than the Panthers too.
Yeah, I left them off on purpose. They're no threat to us right now. All right. I got to be honest with you, man, Nick. There's no way we don't win the division this year. I mean it. I mean it all.
I'm telling you, with how Todd Gurley is, his what is it? He's got arthritis in his knee, degenerative knee. I really think that our receivers are going to eat their corners up this year. And if we can block Aaron Donald, you can take that defense completely out of the game because he's really their main playmaker there. I mean, last year They had Sue, they had Donald, and obviously Sue was helping.
Didn't they have McDonald too on the edge?
Yeah, I think Sue had helped Aaron Donald. I mean, I don't want to say that he helped him because Aaron Donald's a beast. I don't want to take anything away from Aaron Donald. But I mean,
Aaron Donald helped Sue, and Sue still didn't do shit.
Right. So I think our defensive line this year, if we can get to Jared Goff, that's the way of shutting Jared Goff down. And that's going to be the difference maker this year is us having an actual outside edge rush and forcing everything in the middle to let DeForest Buckner and whoever else is on the side of him eat. So I think he gets flustered a lot this year. I think he's exposed. And I really think that there's no reason that the Rams, I want to say we should sweep them, but I think we'll 1-1 them.
Right. So let's say we split with the Rams, but let's talk about why the Rams are going to take a step back league-wide, not just on how the 49ers playing. We can sweep them, and they can still finish with a better record than us. Let's talk about why they're going to take a step back throughout the league. Number one, first and foremost, is that Todd Gurley injury. They can say what they want to say. You were saving them, da-da-da-da. You don't save a player, your best player, in the Super Bowl. That is when that player has to grit through whatever injury it is that he's facing. You play through that right now. And we saw the best that Todd Gurley had to offer in the Super Bowl. And what was that for, a tune of like 48 yards or something like that? I don't even know if it was that much. Todd Gurley is not a threat to the league anymore. For all you people who are going to do fancy football out there this year, avoid Todd Gurley. I'm not kidding, and this isn't – listen, avoid Todd Gurley, guys. I'm just telling you, he's not a first-round pick. He's not a top 3 pick like he was all these other years. Don't do it. What, Nick? I see you. What?
I said it's not bias, though. That's to piss people off.
Yeah, like seriously, man, it's not biasm. You got to let this dude go. Like, don't do it, guys. All right. And so with Todd Gurley going down, we saw them relying on what's the running back's name that they did not bring back for some stupid reason. It wasn't Tolbert. He ran like Tolbert though.
They brought in that the big guy from.
Oh man, they brought in a bowling ball, but he was killing it.
Yeah, I can't even think of his name right now.
Either way, they didn't bring in
CJ Anderson.
CJ from Bronco. Yeah, they brought in CJ Anderson, and he was destroying it. What do? They let him walk. Already, you see this young guy and Sean McVay showing a sign of arrogance. And Sean McVay, let me tell you something, bro. Your quarterback wasn't that good because as soon as Todd Gurley was no good to him, that offense took a huge step back. How many points did they put up against New England?
3. Well, that's why I said I think a lot of people are going to watch what the Patriots do. And I know we all hate the Patriots because they're just a dynasty team or whatever you want to call them. But Bill Belichick always comes out with a way to shut down an offense, like things. And I'm telling you, the other teams watch a lot of what Bill Belichick does on the defensive side of the ball to shut some of these powerful offenses down because he does it day in, day out. You just have to outsmart him, which Sean McVay couldn't do. You can blame it on no run game. You can blame it on Jared Goff. You can blame it on the offensive line. You can blame it on the receivers. But either way, their offense stunk. I mean, literally stunk. So it's definitely a chance that, with no run game, you didn't respect C.J. Anderson there. So they played, they didn't respect the run. They just said, okay, throw it on us, whatever. Jared Goff couldn't. I don't even think they blitzed a ton. I think they still only rushed 3 most of the time. And then if Jared Goff gets flustered, man, he's done. If he throws an interception early and pressure is in his face, he's done for the entire game.
For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. And then it was that offense is going to take a huge step back. That defense, it's oh my God. Listen, the Rams aren't a factor this year. They had their window. It was here. And now this is not to take anything away. This is not to take anything away from what Sean McVay is. I believe in Sean McVay as a play caller. I don't think he's got the weapons to do it this year. I think the offensive line got worse. I think their defense got worse. It's just not. It's not good. Nick, I know there's some questions happening in the room that you need to answer right now. So it just popped up there. I sent it to you too. So make sure you address that really quickly, and we'll keep it moving forward.
All right, I gotta find the question. So,
did you see what I sent you?
Oh, Steve Fox. The shirt of Birth of a Dynasty is
over your shoulder.
Yeah, this is our apparel shirt, so you can see it. Can you see that? It has every player on it. The actual play for Dwight Clark for the catch, the numbers in the jerseys of the positions they were playing, and then on the back says NB Niners 87. For some reason, my camera keeps unfocusing. There we go. Yeah, you can get those if you just hit me up, send me a message on Twitter or Snapchat or anything like that.
That's gonna stop soon too, guys.
Yeah,
I don't want to get too far ahead of it, but we've got some big changes coming here to the YouTube page and to our website as well. We're not gonna have to go through Nick just to get the orders and things like that. You guys are gonna be able to log into the website, place your orders, and it's just gonna be processed. But in due time, guys, in due time. But yeah, so I saw the question in there. Someone saw it over your shoulder. I wanted to address it really quick because we haven't actually talked about it in a while. We used to hold it up every show and show people. We also have the Stone Cold Kittle shirt. I don't know if you have one of those handy or not, but
I do. I just shipped one out to Australia.
Hello, Mike.
Love the love coming from Australia for a Birth of a Dynasty shirt. So I just shipped that out on Friday, I believe it was Friday. So
yeah,
be good. I'll grab the Kittle shirt so I can show everybody why you talk real quick.
All right, yeah. So they're going to take a step back on offense. Listen, West Coast. This is no disrespect to the Rams at all. I truly believe in Sean McVay. I think McVay's arrogance is a little bit worrisome here. When you know that your running back has a degenerative knee, you got to address that position, right? And so you got C.J. Anderson, who was coming in there, and he's having a hell of an offseason or postseason for you. And what does he do? Nothing. He lets him walk. I couldn't believe that he let C.J. Anderson walk. So then, if you look at what they did in the draft, does it match up to the offseason moves that they made? And if you look at their draft class, the first round they took Taylor Rapp. All right, cool. Well, it was their first pick, second round. Then after that, and Taylor Rapp is a safety for those who don't know. I like Taylor Rapp, actually, so that's a cool pickup. And they went running back in Darrell Henderson. Do you think Darrell Henderson is going to be Todd Gurley? Because that's what they need him to be. That's a fantasy sleeper for you guys. Fantasy has nothing to do with who you're cheering for in the division and their record. That's individual performances. He is going to be your fantasy sleeper. Don't get Todd Gurley. Grab this guy. They say handcuff. You're planning on Carlos Hyde getting injured, so you were drafting Matt Breida also. This is your handcuff at the same time right there. All right. Then they went offensive lineman and Bobby Evans. That's good because they need offensive linemen. They went defensive tackle and Greg Gaines, but we're already in the fourth round here. Another offensive lineman and David Edwards. Penn State safety Nick Scott is going to be no good. And then linebacker Dakota Allen is also going to be no good. I mean, they got two good guys out of this draft here, and one of them is going to be Darrell Henderson, but because of the scheme of the offense. Any healthy guy can go in there and be okay, but I don't think that you're going to get Todd Gurley type results. So, Nick, I'm sorry, I wanted to just discuss that really quick. You got the Birth of the Dynasty over there. What you got?
All right, sorry about that. So, all right, so we do have them in hoodies too, just so everybody knows. It's probably so you can see it. Is it spread out all the way? All right, so that's Stone Cold Kittle shirt. And then on the back of the hoodie, it says Fearless.
And the reason it says Fearless is that little drop that Kittle does. That's what that means. It's a wrestling thing. It means no fear or fearless. So that's why.
And then the Birth of a Dynasty also comes in hoodies, as you see. It's right there. So yeah, so those are the hoodies. The hoodies are 45. The t-shirts are 35 for both designs. You can check those out also on our website. Like I said, nothingbutniners.com. And if you want to order one, you can send me a message on Instagram or email right now, nb9 ERS at nothingbutniners.com, or you can email me at nick@nothingbutniners.com. And we take PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, or whatever those things are called. So I prefer PayPal. It's a lot easier, but yeah.
All right, back to your regularly scheduled program. Let me get into my bag as to why the Niners are going to be the team in the NFC West this year. Not just the NFC West, but in the NFC. All right. Let's start with George Kittle. We're going to start with some of the obvious stuff, right? George Kittle is coming in here, and we all know what he did, right? Now, I don't think George Kittle is going to be the same guy as far as results go. You don't set NFL records year after year after year, right? But doesn't mean you can't be as effective. Doesn't mean you can't demand double coverage. George Kittle is going to get played a lot harder week in and week out because of his production last year. So you got George Kittle. He broke out in a major way, and this is with 3 different quarterbacks throwing him the ball. That says something. This is with no rhythm with Jimmy. This is with no rhythm with C.J. Beathard. This is with no rhythm with Nick Mullins. He got a handful of games from each one of those guys, and he was the man. He was the man. 89, and for you PFF guys, 89.8 overall grade, man. It's one of the highest in the NFL for PFF last year. All right. I want to talk about Mike McGlinchey. Mike McGlinchey didn't have an amazing offseason. Pass blocking, he was okay. He's definitely got some work to do. But, you expect that from a rookie, especially when you're playing on the right tackle spot. I know we talk about the left tackle spot a lot in the NFL because we think that the left tackle plays the harder guys, but I see Von Miller rushing from the right side of the offense more than I see him rushing from the left side. You see D Ford coming from the right side of the offense more than you see him coming from the left side of the offense. So these guys, the right tackles, in my personal opinion, go up against stiffer competition than what the guys on the left do. So I get it. I understand that people think that, left tackles are more valuable, but I think the tackle position should be grouped in as one. So his pass blocking grade wasn't all that. It was 64.2 on PFF, but our eyes tell us that it was a little bit better than – I don't know what 64.2 means on PFF. I think that he was just a little below average, but not quite 64.2. If this was high school, you're almost failing that class. So he wasn't failing, but he wasn't that bad either. He was in high school, a 70 is a C. He was like a 71, like a little bit above average, but right there at the line, all right? However, when you watch Mike McGlinchey in the run game, he was physical, he was aggressive, he was a bully. That's where Mike McGlinchey gets his bread and butter. He's going to get better as a pass protector. Every single year, he's going to get better. You see it with Joe Staley. Joe Staley is still getting better because you learn about technique. It's not about just strength and power. It's about your steps and your drops and film study. You study each opponent individually as opposed to just learning an assignment. This is where Mike McGlinchey is going to get better. He's going to get it up here, which is going to translate on the field in the pass pro. The run game, you're getting after it. You're a bully. You're going forward, and you're moving guys, and you're getting to the next level. He already excelled at that. He's going to do much better going forward. For the people who care about PFF, he had the second highest grade in the run block amongst all players at the tackle position. All right, or at the right tackle position. Let me correct myself. The right tackle position, he had the second highest run blocking grade according to PFF. That guy is going to be really good. That was a rookie. He had no business being rated that high because there were only, three rookies? So come on, man. Mike McGlinchey is going to be really, really good. We all know that Joe Staley is out there. He's looking solid. PFF is raving about him. I'm not going to get into all that stuff, I want to move to our run game. We see that the 49ers have added pieces like Jerick McKinnon coming back from injury. You got Matt Breida, who, I'll get Matt Breida at the end of this. We brought back Raheem Mostert, who was one of the guys that I really liked, averaged over 7.4 yards a carry as a 49er, okay? He's got a career of 7.2. As a 49er, he's at 7.6 a carry. This guy is really good in this system carrying the ball. People can say he's not a real running back. He's not meant to be used that way or whatever. But when he touches the rock, you're getting the first down almost every time. Like, listen, I don't care if it's just 5 times a game. You're telling me that if he touches the ball 5 times in a game, he's getting 35 yards? Give him the rock. That's fine with me. Let him just come in there and give somebody a breather. That's a hell of a breather for your offense. And he's a special teams ace. I'm going to keep moving, though. We added Tevin Coleman, someone with a lot of familiarity in Shanahan's system. This is someone that can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run up the middle. He can take it to the outside. The running backs are going to put on a clinic this year for the 49ers. 1 injury ain't going to stop us. 2 injuries ain't going to stop us. 3 injuries won't stop us because we still got guys hanging around in the background like Day or Wilson. Those guys are still there. So even if we're on our 4th, 5th, and 6th guys, these guys have familiarity with the system. The Niners are going to be good at the running back position. I promise you guys that. But let me talk about my man, Matt Breida. I know all you guys think I hate on Matt Breida and all that stuff. It's not that I hate on him. It's that I think we have too many running backs. And if someone has to go, I think it would be him because of financial reasons, not production. There's one interesting stat that I liked about Matt Breida. And the reason let me tell you guys the stat. Matt Breida had 0 drop passes last year. 0. The reason that stat means a lot to me is because catching the ball out of the backfield was his only weakness coming into the NFL. It wasn't pass blocking. It wasn't his ability to run. It wasn't his athleticism. It was catching the ball. So to take your weakness and literally turn it into a strength says a lot about what he's got up here. I love Matt Breida. I really, really do. I know you guys think I hate him. It's not the case at all. I think that we have too many running backs or too many backs behind the quarterback, and I think we need to let one of them go. And I think that because of his salary and how cheap he is, he might be the guy and his health issues. But when Matt's in there, Matt is a hell of a player. He battled through a ton of injuries last year, 0 drop passes. For the PFF heads out there, he had a 90.1 receiving grade. No drops, all right? And then he also had 27 carries that were for 10 yards or more. Think about how crazy that is. 27 carries for 10 yards or more. Matt Breida is a beast out there, guys. This running back, oh my God, Nick, I'm sorry. I've been talking about the offense. I'm not quite done yet. So let me just finish up my talk on the offense, okay? Dante Pettis. I know we drafted Debo. I know we drafted Hurd, and you guys saw me and my exuberance over Hurd and everything. But Dante Pettis is someone that excited me just as much as Hurd because of what I think they can do in this offense. I like Dante Pettis for nothing else but what he did against the Seahawks in both of those games. That dude was an absolute stud. And as the season got further along and he got healthier, he was better. He was more effective. He's got plenty of stuff that he has to work on. He needs to be a little bit more physical going over the middle. You know what I mean? But he's going to be okay. Dante Pettis is shifty. He's got good hands. He's not going to kill you in yards after the catch. That's why we get guys like Deebo Samuel in here. Deebo Samuel is going to take a slant 85 yards to the house. We're going to see that happen 6 times this year. 6 times we're going to see that happen this year. I'm telling you guys, Deebo is going to have 6 plays of at least 60 yards or more this season. Take it to the bank, guys. He's that good. And I haven't talked about Jalen Hurd, Marquise Goodwin. We've got weapons here. This offense is going to be so damn exciting to watch this year, man. And then last but certainly not least is the return of the man. Jimmy Garoppolo is coming back, guys. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the guy that's going to make all of this work. What is Jimmy good at? The intermediate passes. Not the short passes, the intermediate passes. Give him that 7 to 15-yard range, and he's good. Well, what players do we have that complement that range? We got Pettis. We got Samuel. We got Taylor. We got all the running backs. We got George Kittle. This is all where they eat. And Shanahan's going to get these guys the ball in space, and we're going to be the yak kings of the NFL. I promise you guys, the offense is going to be stellar. So I just want to let you know, man, that's all I've been talking about is just the offensive pieces, man. I talked about George Kittle. I talked about McGlinchey improving. I did a little recap on Breida and everything. I mean, you were here for that part. So I'm really high on the offense this year. I got the Niners with the top 10 offense this year. That's why we're winning the NFC West.
Yeah, I mean the offense is going to be really exciting, man. The thing I'm most excited about, and obviously this is all, and I hate to keep saying it, but health pending. This is all health pending. With the additions of Hurd, the additions of Debo, the additions of Jimmy Garoppolo coming back. It's all going to be depending on health. But obviously the backfield's going to be dangerous between um, McKinnon, and Coleman. And obviously, you can add Mostert in there as well. Whether he's going to be running the football or not, I'm not sure yet. But he is a factor in there. So I think this year, with the additions of having 1 and 2 and 3 backs, Kyle Juszczyk is going to have a bigger year this year because of the fact of being able to open that playbook up a little more. I don't think we've really seen what Kyle Juszczyk is really going to be used for completely. So I'm excited about that. The main thing I'm excited about in the backfield is, like you were saying, Breida not having a drop pass all year. The addition of Tevin Coleman, who can catch the football as well. The addition of Jerick McKinnon, who is really an addition because we haven't seen him play in this offense yet in an NFL game other than preseason. But the exciting factor that I'm excited about there is the fact that you're never going to know who the starting running back is that week if they're all healthy. It's going to be really hard to game plan. You're not going to know if you're going to say, okay, well, I'm going up against Tevin Coleman this week, or I'm going up against Matt Breida this week. Whereas if you go to, let's just say the Rams, you're knowing that you're going to be either A, going after, game planning for a Todd Gurley or whoever their backup is now, because I don't think they re-signed Anderson, but you're never going to know. So rolling with the hot hand, yes. Rolling with the unknown, yes, even more. And I think that's going to just what you can do with those guys in the backfield is just going to amaze the hell out of me. Going to the receivers, the addition of Debo Samuel, like you said, big slant guy. He was taking a slants at the average of 31.2 yards last year. His average for slant catches were Dante Pettis, Marquise Goodwin, if healthy. I think Marquise Goodwin has a breakout year this year, and the reason that I say that is because he's not going to be that main guy. So he's going to be utilized the way that he should be utilized. And let's just say he takes, there's 50 snaps on offense and he takes 20 of them instead of taking 45. He's going to his snaps are going to go down a little bit, but he's going to be utilized the way that he should be, which opens up a lot underneath. You got Dante Pettis, the same type of receiver. The only thing I want Dante Pettis to get a little bit better at is catching balls across the middle and his angles after he catches the football. He has great shiftiness at the line of scrimmage, but he's got to get better at running after the catch. I know he had, what do you have, 7 or 8 return touchdowns in college, but that's different than catching the football as a receiver.
Yeah, he had 9, but it's irrelevant because he doesn't do that here.
Right.
Second, it's different when you're never mind. It's different, like you said.
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's not about, it's just the way when he catches the football, he's like tries to still be shifty instead of just. It's the same thing I said about Kendrick Bourne. They try to be shifty after they catch the ball instead of just keeping that angle, trusting your speed, just go. I think he needs to get a little bit better at that. Debo's just going to be a bowling ball. This kid, looking at him, and like I said, I hate talking about this dude's thighs, but this dude is built like a running back, like a solid running back. He doesn't go down on first contact. He prides himself in that. Hoping to see a little of that from him this year. And with the health of these guys, it's just going to open up the playbook even more. Like I said, the game planning with Jerick McKinnon or Tevin Coleman or Matt Breida or even Raheem Mostert, whoever it is back there, the game planning, you better look to see them catching. This is the thing is you're not going to be able to stack this box all the time because of the way that Kyle Shanahan can design plays is going to open up the run game or B, going to open up the passing game for a receiver or a running back lined up as a receiver. So I'm really excited about this offense. This offense could easily be top 10, maybe even top 5 in the NFL this year, depending on health.
You can't stack the box on us.
You
You
can't.
you stack the box, Kittle's going to eat all day.
Yeah,
Stack
that's
the
what I'm
box,
saying.
Kittle.
So even not even just with Kittle, and
So,
I didn't even mention his name. Just with a running back coming out, you have to pull a guy out. Like you have to, and it's a mismatch. It's a death for the linebackers because they're not covering these guys. If these guys stay healthy, this offense will be a top 10, easily top 10. Most likely could be a top 5 or higher in the NFL this year. We averaged last year. I was wrong. I said 24.6 before. I think it was 19.7 points per game when I went back and looked at it again. But some of these plays that I watched last year, as I go back and watch throughout the whole season, I really don't think Kyle Shanahan has even dipped his full finger into a playbook yet. And that's what excites me about the offense.
for sure, man. Listen, we can sustain 2 injuries at every position, except every skill position, except tight end. That's the only one I'm worried about. And even then, we got Smith, but he's not going to be a George Kittle after the catch. He'll get the contested catches. He'll get busy in the red zone, short yardage situations, but he's not going to get busy after the catch like Kittle did. Kittle led the league last year in that. So that's the one area that we would take a step back in, but I'm not concerned, man. Like, Nick, the offensive weapons, the weapons are there, bro. They're there, man. This is our year for real. I'm not kidding at all. We're winning the NFC West, man. This isn't fluff. And I'm this hype. We're only talking about the offense. I didn't even get to the defense yet. I got a whole page of notes here on the defensive players, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. Like, the Niners are going to be really, really good this year. Going to be really good, Nick. We're winning the division. The Niners are going to be at least, at the worst case, having one home game this playoff run, this offseason. At least one playoff game at home in Santa Clara. And that stadium is going to be rocking like never before. Like, literally like never before. We haven't made the playoffs there. We haven't done it. The first year we opened up, we were 8-8. That was Harbaugh's last year. That was it. We went 8-8, and the team has not made the playoffs. People talk about Candlestick had the feeling and the sound and all that. That's because Candlestick had the history and the winning there. We haven't had any winning since we've been here at Levi's. It happens this year. This year is when we put it all to bed. Let's talk about the defense really quick, right? Do you want to get into the defense, or you want to move on?
No, we can get into the defense.
All right. So they added the best player in the draft. Do we agree with that? The consensus top pick, non-quarterback, was Nick Bosa.
Yes.
And the 49ers got that guy. I'm not even going to sit here and drag this out and praise this guy. We don't know what he's going to be. But you take your top draft pick, which wasn't the first one overall, and you get the consensus best draft pick. This is according to PFF. This is according to anybody watching football. Anyone with 2 eyes, they knew that this guy was going to be the best guy with our second overall pick. He's going to come in there. He's going to be a run-stopping machine. He's going to be stellar as a pass rusher. And then guess what we do on the other side of that? We get D Ford. Just in case you can't get a Nick Bosa, you go out and you get D Ford to play on the other side. Just in case you can't get Bosa. Guess what? We still got him. I think the Niners went into this offseason with such a fail-proof plan. Listen, D Ford wasn't supposed to be attainable. We traded for this guy. This isn't some free agent that everyone was bidding on. The Niners had to beat people who wanted him by offering more in trade value to acquire him. They weren't going to take no for an answer. You guys thought we overpaid for juice? Thank God D Ford wasn't a free agent. They were going to get this guy at whatever it costs. So that's what happened. We ended up getting him for next year's second. Not this year's, next year's second. Because I'm sure there was an offer out there for a 3rd-round pick or a 4th-round pick because he was on the franchise tag. The Niners refused to take no for an answer, and they get D Ford. And let me tell you guys something about D Ford and DeForest Buckner, right? I've been giving DeForest Buckner a hard time. I think that DeForest Buckner is overrated amongst 49er fans, but I also think he's underrated amongst the NFL people in general. Okay? Between DeForest Buckner and D Ford, the two of them combined, just those two players combined for 137 pressures on the quarterback last year. Just those two players. Now, albeit they were on different teams, but it doesn't matter. That's a lot of pressures on the quarterback for two players to come up with. We are going to get busy. That's not counting D Ford. That's not counting Solomon Thomas or Ronald Blair or anybody else who's going to get worked into the mix. That's just D Ford and DeForest Buckner, man. 137 pressures on the quarterback last year. You put those guys in the same line, and let me tell you what's going to happen. D Ford is going to have the same year that he had, and DeForest Buckner is going to have a career year because you also got Nick Bosa out there. For all of you people who doubt DeForest Buckner, for all of you, including myself, who think that DeForest Buckner is a top 12 defensive tackle, that was him being a top 12 player without any edge help, without anybody helping him on the outside. Now he's got it on both sides of the ball. You can't double and triple team DeForest Buckner now. You can't. It's over. It is over. DeForest Buckner is going to dominate this year. D Ford is going to dominate. You got to pick your poison. There's going to be a game where DeForest Buckner has 4 sacks. There's going to be a game where D Ford has 2.5 sacks, and the next week he's going to come out and have the same production. There's going to be a game where Nick Bosa has 4 sacks. These guys are going to be coming in bunches because the opposing teams won't know what to do or how to stop them. It's going to be so much damn fun. Nick, I don't want to take it all, man. I know that a lot of times when I start going on my rants, I start taking your ideas and stuff. Tell me about the defense, man. What do you see coming, bro?
Well, I mean, like you said, Nick Bosa, so people don't make fun of me saying Bosa. Nick Bosa coming in here, it was a huge step up. And I know everybody's all flustered and worried about him with the hamstring injury, but like we said, it's a grade 1 strain. It's nothing really to be considered about. There's no rips, no tears. It's just a tweak, a little bit of ice, a little bit of heat, no running. I think it was good the Niners shut him down. He'll get healthy. This is something that you haven't played football pretty much all year, so this can happen from, cramping or dehydration and things like that. I think he'll be fine, though. Like you said, going out, getting the addition of D Ford in the offseason, this was a guy that was not a free agent, like you said. He was a trade guy. We ended up trading for him, going out and getting him, giving up a next year, so 2020 second-round pick. Not even anything this year. This guy has one of the best first steps in the NFL, which I was bad. I was pretty hard on Bosa about his first step, but going back and watching more and more of him again, like up close and personal, his first step is actually really, really good. And you hear these guys in the locker room as well saying he has a really good first step. His hands and his feet work together. It's just those two guys on the outside, like you said, are only going to help the inside guys, whether it be Contavious Street, Solomon Thomas, Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, DJ Jones. That's going to be our defensive line this year. I'm not worried about at all. Am I a little bit worried about our secondary? Yes, but I'm not as worried about as much as other people are. I think Adrian Colbert is going to come back and have a bounce back season. I think his head is there. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you check out our interview with Adrian Colbert. We just had him on the show like last week sometime. It's on our front page or in the player interview playlist. Just check that out. And just listen to what he has to say, because there were a few things that he said that caught me, as in I talked to Marcus last week about this as well. Few things that stood out to me about that interview was how Adrian Colbert was stating that he needs to play how he knows he can play, not try to be somebody else. That's a huge factor, guys. If you go up there thinking you're somebody else, there's times it can help you, yes, but there's also times it can hurt you because you're trying to play some way that you're not used to. And we could see that. And I asked Adrian that question about his vision and things like that. So go over there, listen to see what he had to say. But Am I worried? The only thing I'm really worried about on this defense is health, and that is with Richard Sherman, Adrian Colbert, Jaquiski Tart, those three main positions right there. I'm a little bit worried about with health. Fred Warner's coming back from a knee scope. That's something to look at. If Jason Verrett is healthy, Quan Alexander, how he's coming along. If all these guys can stay healthy, and I know this is for every NFL team and health matters, but these guys are a little bit shaky for me only because of the fact that they're coming off of injuries. Richard Sherman's not coming off an injury, but what Richard Sherman are we going to get? What Akello are we going to get this year? Are we going to get the Akello that was playing really good his first year, or the sophomore slump Akello? Adrian Colbert, are we going to get the Adrian Colbert who came playing for those last 6 games lights out? Or are we going to get the Adrian Colbert who we saw last year before injury? Jason Verrett, are we going to get a healthy Jason Verrett, or is he not going to touch the field? Quan Alexander, are we going to get that guy that is a speedster inside the hashtags or inside the sidelines? Does he miss a lot of tackles in his tape? Yes, but that's because he over pursues. He's going so fast, which I really like about him. But they're ball hawks, man. These guys strip sacks, fumbles, interceptions. That's the biggest thing I think I'm worried about this year. But up front, I'm not worried about anything. I think we're going to triple what we had in sacks last year. I think we're going to have more turnovers just from the defensive line and in strip fumbles and strip sacks, things like that. I'm super pumped about this defense, man. There's little things that worry me, but if those 3 things mainly, like I said, the way Richard Sherman comes back, the way if Jaquiski Tart can stay healthy, and if Adrian Colbert can stay healthy and play the better half that he was in 2017 compared to 2018, I think we'll be just fine.
I'm not sure this type of defense, in the secondary in particular, lends itself to being turnover machines. However, I will say this. There's a couple of outliers that we need to talk about. Richard Sherman last year had his first season without a recorded interception. All right? That's not going to continue. He wasn't healthy. He didn't have a pass rush in front of him for the first time in his career. He did not have a consistent pass rush for the first time in his career. That changes this offseason. Richard Sherman is going to get a pick this year. Also, D Ford, what was he, second in the league or first in the league at forced fumbles from his position? He was first in the league coming around for the strip sacks. They might not have recovered them all, but he was causing forced fumbles. Quan Alexander,
which also causes a down.
Exactly. Even if they recover, that counts as yards lost, to tackle for loss. Quan Alexander, same for his position. Listen, the 49ers had such a smart approach for this offseason. What are our biggest deficiencies, and how do we attack them head on? Yeah, Quan Alexander's coming off of an injury, but this is what he does when he's on the field. Yeah, Richard Sherman is coming back, but we can use him in 2 or 3 years from now. This is really going to be where it works. D Ford, this is what we need right now. We can do this, guys. They are putting together something so nice here. So nice. And all the people out there that are hating and saying this ain't going to be it, this ain't the year, the secondary this, the secondary that. A secondary is always helped by the front 7. And vice versa, don't get me wrong. But I think if I had to pick which one helps which more, I think the front 7 helps the secondary more than the back 4 help the front 7. I think that's my personal opinion. This year we'll see that come. We'll find out because we'll watch the Chiefs. The Chiefs had a ton of sacks, like 55, 56 sacks or something like that last year. Some crazy amount. They put up a ton of points, so you're going to get those sacks, right? But that secondary was Swiss cheese. People were running through the Chiefs defense like it was nothing. They get rid of D Ford as well as Justin Houston. Their 2 sack leaders are gone now. So if they don't improve, or if that secondary gets better, we can say, all right, well, maybe it wasn't about the sacks. Maybe it's all about the secondary. I don't think that's going to be the case, man. I really don't, but we'll see. Nick, you were talking about Solomon. You were talking about Nick Bosa and his hand and feet and how they work together and things like that, right? And this video clip came out this weekend of Solomon Thomas working with his old trainer, and he's doing all this stuff on the bags and everything, right? He looked really good. And I kept asking people, what do you guys think about this video? What do you guys see? And they're like, oh, he's focused. He's back in there. He's where he needs to be. But my concern when I was watching the video was that his feet weren't moving at all. The only time his feet were moving was when he was doing the jab, the grab, and the swipe, right? That was it. Only time he took a step forward was with the jab, grab, and swipe. Like that was it. The only time you saw his feet moving at all. Everything else was just standing still. And that was it. That's all he was doing. If your feet don't work with your hands, it is all for naught. It doesn't matter. It won't matter. There's never going to be a time in Solomon Thomas's career where he's going to stand completely flat-footed and do this with his hands. You can be as fast as you want as a defensive lineman. If you're in pass pro and you're just standing still doing, if it's a pass play, you're standing still doing this, you're not touching anybody because they're backing up. They're getting away from you. So you're doing all of this and nothing's happening. If it's a run play and you're trying to stand still and you're doing this, they're going to push you over. Because in boxing, they tell you that any kind of hand movement that happen without footwork, you're immediately off balance. Every punch you throw, there's a counter move for your feet to happen. You have to step into it a certain way because if you get hit, you're still on balance. The person's not knocking you down. He was standing completely flat-footed in all those videos I saw with his hands going. He's got to tie it together. And Nick Bosa, I went back and I watched Nick Bosa. Nick, you've been saying it all offseason since we drafted this guy, since before we drafted this guy. His hands and his feet, they fucking work in unison. It's a thing of beauty, bro. I've never seen a rookie come in with hands and feet tied together so well. Nick Bosa's feet, and you guys can't see my leg. I'm not going to show you my legs, but trust me, down here my legs are chopping. Nick Bosa's hands and feet are moving at the same time. When he jabs with one hand, the other foot is going in the opposite direction to make sure he's on balance. And if there's a counter, he's got a counter ready for it with his opposite hand and the opposite leg. This dude is so in sync from top to bottom. It's amazing to see. Just go back and watch.
I tried telling you that. Like,
I didn't get it. I didn't listen. The Solomon Thomas video annoyed me so much that I went back and watched Nick Bosa. I'm telling you the truth. I had so many questions about this Solomon Thomas video. You're doing all of this stuff and you're swinging and you're countering and you're parrying and all that stuff. None of that stuff matters. It doesn't matter if your feet are flat-footed because all it's going to take is the quick boop and you're going to fall backwards. I didn't like seeing any of that stuff. But
I think what it is it's kind of a thing to get into unisex. And that's what I basically mean is you want to learn those hand jabs and those quicknesses and I can't do a sweep but with my right arm, but an underneath swim move or things like that. You need to learn those things. And then I think he's going to learn the footwork portion of it. And then it's all going to come together. And then you start putting it together. And I think that's what they're working on there. Like, I don't think I think you're just seeing video clip 1 instead of video clip 2 doing something else. And then video clip 3 where it all comes together.
Right. And so listen, and you're not the only person that told me that. Everyone I voiced my opinion to was like, Mike, this is phase 1. That's what everyone was telling me. But I just don't get in my head the purpose of teaching phase 1 handwork without the matching footwork, because even if you can't do the footwork at all.
Hold on. Yeah, I did say unisex and I meant to say unicism.
I was gonna let it go. See that they're killing
somebody
me, man.
called me out in the chat. I just saw it. So yes, I definitely did say unisex. My bad. All right. And I'm seriously not drunk or anything, dude. I just had a really long weekend and my brain is not thinking completely in unison tonight.
I was gonna let it go too. I was being good tonight.
No, dude, I'm off the wire tonight. I really am.
I'm just saying I don't see the purpose in training one way without the other. I'd rather you slow down the training but teach hand and foot together, because there's never a time where you're going to be standing flat-footed and doing this stuff. It's literally never a time in a defensive lineman's life. It's never, ever, ever going to happen.
But all of us may have just seen the video where it was speeded up. And in the first, sped up. Sorry, dude, stop. I got to hit my pen again. All right, look. So we may have not seen the portion of when they were doing it slow. and then he may have just video clipped, okay, let's get the whole work go fast. You know how boxers do the thing first where they're like, okay, you're going to do a punch here, I'm going to come over, you're going to get down. Like they teach you that routine and then they video it and then you go through that pat, 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 pat. You know what I mean? So then they teach you everything. And with that, there's times where their feet aren't shifting. They're staying in the same spot with a left foot in the front and a right foot in the back, or leading with their right and their left.
It's not true. Not for boxing. Well,
you've never seen videos like that?
Listen, the boxing gyms that I've gone to, I was in boxing. I took Derek to boxing. The boxing gyms I go to, the very first thing, they hands down to your side. You got to work on footwork. Don't let your heels touch the ground. That is the first thing they teach you in boxing. And I'm not exaggerating at all. And that's why this video bothered me so much, because I don't know the football training side of it. So I asked people who claim to be coaches and all that stuff. This is why I took it to people, because I don't know that side. What I do know is boxing, and they tell you if your feet are dead, you're dead. So don't let your heels touch the ground. You're preparing for a 3-round fight. We want you having 4 minutes of footwork. 4 minutes. That way, when it's time for 3 minutes, you're okay. You get what I'm saying, Nick? So like they kept us on our toes and they had our feet moving the entire time. You don't learn to throw punches in boxing for weeks, maybe even months during the training. There's no need for you to throw a punch. If your footwork is not good, you can't box. Those are the places that I've been to.
That's true.
So
that is definitely true. I just really think that I don't think this is what they're teaching him completely. I really don't think we've seen the finished product. I really think that that's the case, because there's times where you're literally standing there. Dude, I'm so out of it. When you're literally standing there and a guy is just doing in football, a guy is just using a bag each way, and you're just doing this, hooking. You know what I mean? Like those type of things. So when I teach younger kids that type of thing too, there's only usually one step involved. When you hit the bag, it's that one step and drive. And we would literally do that just in the air. One step and drive. You know what I mean? One step and drive. And yes, I understand we're teaching with the hands and the feet there. But when you're teaching hand movements, you can't put your footwork in until you know what the hand movements are. So then you can learn the bottom half of your body to be unison with your top half.
All right. Like I said, and I don't know. My high school career was where my football career died. So it was freshman year. I didn't get far into it. And so that's why it concerned me. But like I said, I went back and I watched Nick Bosa. It is a complete opposite of what you saw in that video. And this was live game. This wasn't practice. This was live games. This dude was just killing it out there. So anyway.
Well, Marcus is in the chat and he says, there are times when, as a defensive lineman, especially on the inside, when you have to win with your hands, you have to get the offensive lineman's hands off of you.
No, I get that. I understand the hand movement and what they were trying to teach him. What I'm saying is that you can't do any of that just completely flat-footed. You swipe flat-footed and then they jab you in your shoulder, you're going to fall backwards. You're taken out of that play immediately. You have to do something with your footwork when you're doing something with your hands. You have to be braced for impact. That's all I'm saying. You're never, ever, ever going to not have to have the right footwork when you're doing something as a defensive lineman. I just don't see when it's ever possible. You watch any game of any team, and when they snap the ball, a defensive lineman, their feet are moving immediately. They should never be still. And so that's just what I'm saying. Footwork.
They're on my case tonight. I was like, just leave me alone, y'all. Just leave me alone.
But yeah, so it's all good. I don't know who is this person. I don't like this comment. Who is Eric Smith? What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm gonna try to not assume anything negative. That comment might piss me off. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Sorry about that. But yeah, so I think our defense is ready. There's no way we take second place in the division this year. The Seahawks lost their pass rush. They lost Tate, their scramble drill guy. I am a little bit worried about what can happen downfield with what's the big dude's name that they got that Eric Crocker likes? He loves the wide receiver. The Seahawks got him.
Oh, I'm not even mentioning his name. DK Metcalf, yeah.
DK Metcalf. I am a little worried about the scramble drills there, but you're not going to win a game doing scramble drills all the time. The Niners are going to outsmart them, outplay them down for down, and I think that the Seahawks are going to come in second to the Niners.
You know why I'm not really worried about Russell Wilson and scramble drills this year? He did not get that many off compared to what he did 2 years ago, last year. He barely could scramble on us last year. He may have broken one or two out of the pocket for 10 yards or 12 yards, but it was because of the design. But he was scrambling a lot last year, but DeForest Buckner caught up to him. I've seen Eric Armstead catch up to him last year in a couple games. Solomon Thomas caught up to him. Like, there are games where he may have gotten out. I think it was the second game that DeForest Buckner got him once, and then Solomon Thomas got him once, and he was just past 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. And then there was one Eric Armstead caught him where he was right at the line of scrimmage. But I'm not worried about Russell Wilson scrambling this year. The pressure is going to be there so fast on the outside that it's going to force him up in the pocket instead of being able to get out, and one of those guys are going to eat in the middle.
I mean, we got a couple of 6 or 7 second sacks on Russell Wilson. I think that he might be inclined to get rid of the ball a little bit faster. That's still a ton of time. Yeah, it counted as a sack, but that's a ton of time for a quarterback to have the ball. So I'm still not worried about it. I do think they get off a big play or two every game between the two of them, Russell to Metcalf, but I'm not worried about it.
Me either.
Yeah, Frank Clark is gone from over there. I just don't know who their pass rusher is going to be. Thomas is gone. Cam Chancellor, Tate. Even if Chancellor's still there, aren't they in some kind of dispute? I don't remember if Chancellor's gone or not yet, but that's something big that's happening. Tate's gone.
Yeah, I thought no, not Chancellor. What's the other guy that retired?
Well,
Baldwin, and who was the other guy?
Tate's gone. Baldwin's gone.
Well, Tate's been gone, yeah.
Who's the other? It was Chancellor and Thomas, and there was who's the other linebacker that they had?
That's what I'm trying to think. I can't even think of his name right now.
Either way, it's not going good for them. This is our year, faithful.
I forgot about that. They did get Ziggy Ansah.
That's a good thing for us.
Yeah, I'm not
Ziggy
worried about that. Saying that's who they added.
Go ahead, Nick. This is your moment. Say it. What's Ziggy Ansah? What is it? This is your moment. I said he's butt cheeks. What's your word that you say it?
He's dookie.
He's dookie.
He's dookie, bro. Dookie.
He is trash, guys. Oh, I love that they picked up Ziggy Ansah. I really do love that. I love that they picked him up, man.
Was it Bobby Wagner?
Wagner. He left?
Yeah, I think that was the other guy that No, I don't think it was Wagner though. It might have been Cam Chancellor. It was Baldwin both said that they were done. Like whoever had the injury to himself, which I think was a neck injury, he ended up leaving. I think it was Cam Chancellor. But I can't remember. I don't know. I don't follow the Seahawks like that, so
this dude's pissing me off. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got, man. I think the Niners win the division.
So Cam Chancellor's the one that got released, and Doug Baldwin. Those are the two.
Yeah. So, that's right. Chancellor had the neck injury. That's right.
I just couldn't. I couldn't remember if it was Cam or Bobby Wagner. Couldn't remember.
We're kicking ass this year, bro. We are kicking ass this year. It's our division, faithful. Let's go. It's a 2-man race, and it's a runaway. It's a runaway. We're our only competition. We are our only competition, man. We got this, faithful.
We are. That's the truth right there. That's exactly what it comes down to. We are our own competition this year. I think that we haven't really seen the potential of this team. Obviously, we didn't see the potential of this defense yet because of the additions that we added. But we also added a lot of additions to offense, and we've never really seen the actual playbook of Kyle Shanahan. I just want to see Y2 jet banana, XY slide, Z face Dookie on Seattle. That's what I want to see.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, faithful. So, all right. So Nick and I's playoff picture is as follows. Well, we didn't get to the wild cards. So let's name the wild cards at the end of this. So our division leaders, my division winners are the Vikings in the north, the Saints in the south, the Eagles in the east, and the Niners in the west. Nick's division winners are the Packers in the north, the Saints in the south, the Eagles in the east. And who did you have winning the west? I don't know if you ever said officially.
I had the Niners win in the West.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, in week 16.
you think week 16?
I
Not
think it comes
17.
down. I think our division comes down to between Seattle and San Francisco in Seattle, and we finally beat Seattle in Seattle to win the division.
We play us. We
I don't even care if it's. I want. Yeah. What is it? Week 15? Week 16?
Shit. I'll look it up. But go ahead. You don't care what?
I want it to be that close just to make us beating Seattle in Seattle that much better. To close out and win the division at Seattle. If we stay healthy, bro, it's completely possible.
We played in week 17.
Yeah, it's the very last week.
I don't want it to be that close.
I do. I do. Only because I want that game to mean something for us to win it.
I think we're going to win it anyway, but I mean, at that point, I expect us to have 11 wins already. And that's why I don't want it to be that close. I mean, I would like – now, if we already guarantee ourselves a playoff spot with 11 wins going into that game and we're locked in it as at least a wild card, cool with me. That's okay with me.
I think I had us 10 and 6, I think. Did I have us 10? I think I had 10 and 6 or us 10 and or 10 and I forget what I had it 10 and 5 going into that game. It was either 10 and 6 or to when we won that game 10 and 6 or it was 10 and 5 and then we won that game and we became 11 and 5. I can't remember what it was.
Give me your 2 wild card teams now. This is going to be very interesting. Give me your 2 wild card teams now. If you need some time, I can go first, but you let me know what you want to do here.
Wild card teams in the NFC. I'm going to go with Chicago and Dallas.
Wow. So you think that the winner of the East is going to have a really good record then? Because in order for Dallas to get a wild card, they have to have a good record also.
Yep.
You're looking for 2 double-digit win teams from – I'm not giving the Cowboys that much credit. I'm not. I got the Cowboys 9-7 at best. I just hate the Cowboys. That's all bias. I got no problem saying it. That's all bias. I'm gonna go with the Bears one. I agree with you there. And I'm gonna say that the second wild card team is gonna be. It's either gonna be Seattle. You know what? I'm gonna take the Bears out. I think that the Seahawks have made the playoffs every year with Russell Wilson. So I'm going to say the Seahawks and the Falcons.
I should have probably said the Seahawks because I have our division so close.
Right.
But I think Dallas is going to finish with a better record than Seattle. I still think Dallas is going to finish with a better record. I hate Dallas. I hate Dallas. I hate Dallas. I would love for a Niners-Dallas playoff game again, though. I would friggin' love for us to come out on top over a Dallas victory.
Oh, that would be great. Giants in the playoffs. Giants or Cowboys in the playoffs. Those were the days right there. That was me growing up and becoming a Niners fan right there. Those were the moments. So I like it, man. This is, again, guys, this is our way too early playoff prediction, a premature playoff picture for what we think is going to happen. This is before preseason, before all the injuries start rolling in. Right now, I know that we saw whatever they said in OTAs, but the Niners are healthy. There's no one who's not scheduled to be back by preseason. So the Niners are relatively healthy. This is all before any of the injuries and things like that start to take place, before any re-injuries happen. And like I said, on the offensive side of the ball, we can sustain 2 injuries at every position and still be good to go before my confidence starts to waver. So,
well, like receiver and stuff like that, not offensive line.
Skill position, yeah.
Yeah, skill position.
Except tight ends. That's the only skill position I'm a little worried about. But I'm happy with the team. I love our roster. I wish we could get another tight end or 2 and another offensive lineman or 2. I'm hoping that maybe someone surprises. Maybe Eric Magnuson has a bounce back year. Fuck, maybe Joshua Garnett lives up to that first round potential. If Joshua Garnett comes out and looks good, maybe he not be a starter, but if he looks good in preseason again, maybe you feel more confident and he's healthy.
What if your homie Anthony Davis comes back?
You know what sucks? That I like.
I know. And let me ask you a question here. The Niners own the rights to Anthony Davis. So if he really gets reinstated, will the Niners bring him back or will they trade him?
You got to trade him or just flat out cut him. Don't let Anthony Davis make you cut someone else on this roster right now. You can't do it. You can't trust him. You don't believe that he's really here to play. You got to let him go.
Yeah. He wasn't here with this regime though, right? He was here right before the regime. Kelly. Yeah, he was with Chip Kelly, right? And then he was mad because he wasn't starting. Was it Tom Sula?
It was Chip or Tom Sula. I feel like it was Chip though.
Yeah,
I think it was Chip. He came back and then
and then he resigned again.
Yeah, so no, you can't let him. You can't let him mess up what the emotions and all that are happening here now. So
yeah.
What was that? Oh, never mind. Okay. All right, man. Anything else you want to discuss before we get up out of here? Because that's all I had on the docket, man. But if you want to keep going, we can keep going. I just want to know what you were thinking.
No, that's pretty much all I got for tonight. Hopefully we'll bring a fan show on Thursday and probably bring something else maybe earlier than that. Obviously Tuesday we usually do shows, but I'm not sure if we're going to be doing a show tomorrow night or not yet. We haven't really decided. Maybe I'll see if we can get Marcus on Thursday night. I know a lot of fans really liked his takes on stuff, so maybe we can get him on a show Thursday as well, talk about some things. And but yeah, I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend, man, and just remember what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I've been on since the injury of Jimmy Ward. I think that was you and Marcus, and I don't think I came on since then. Doesn't change anything I had projected. I had Jimmy Ward as our backup at every position. I had Adrian Colbert as our starting free safety. I wanted Jimmy Ward in the slot competing, but it doesn't look like that's where they had him. So he would have never been a starter on my books anyway. Doesn't change much. Get healthy, get out there, and be a solid backup. But that's all I got for the Jimmy Ward injury. I'm not surprised, and I'm happy to be back and doing this. The last show was you and Marcus. I'm happy to be included in this one, man.
I asked Marcus the same question. What do you do with Jimmy Ward now? Do you cut him or you keep him?
Nah, you got to keep him because you don't save any money by cutting him. And his injury is not going to take him out of the season. It's not even going to take him out 5 or 6 weeks of the season. He'll be ready in time for week 1. And that's worst case scenario. He should be ready before preseason. But he'll be back for week 1 time. You keep him. He knows the playbook already. It's not like you need him out there physically to learn anything. He's got a good grasp of it all. There's no need to get rid of him. If nothing else, it's back to where I said, where he's just quality depth. So I'm keeping him here. He's got the money already. I'm keeping him around because of the money.
For $3 million?
Yep, $3 million is enough. I'm not sending $3 million home. That's for sure.
Well, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna. I can't.
You just sending them home?
I can't deal with this whole Ward shit anymore, bro. Like, how many times are you going to try and try again? Like, dude, with no money issues, I'd rather cut him and just bring somebody else in as depth, or let one of these young guys go.
Yeah, but see, you got to all right. So here's the thing, right? It comes down to one roster position. If you try to fast forward and play this thing all the way out to the end of the roster, it's Jimmy Ward or your last man that you're signing. Who is that last guy? What position are we deciding? Is it Jimmy Ward or our third quarterback? You know what I'm saying? Is it Jimmy Ward or CJ Beathard? Give me Jimmy Ward because we're more likely to have an injury in the secondary. You know what I mean? Is it Jimmy Ward or our seventh wide receiver as opposed to six? You know, like you have to kind of weigh it out. Like how do you see it playing out?
Bro, I'm to the point where I'm taking CJ Beathard over Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward has no chance of fucking staying healthy. None. And I don't like CJ Beathard. I'm literally taking CJ Beathard over Jimmy Ward, bro. I will eat the $3 million. Everybody wanted to eat the $8.5 million last year, and we're talking about not eating $3 million this year. Like, not you in particular, but people. Bro, this guy got hurt before in OTAs this year. Last year it was stretching. This guy's diving for footballs in OTAs where you just have shoulder pads and helmets on. Why? I don't care about this see ball, get ball shit. You already know you're as fragile as shit and you're diving for footballs and break your collarbone for the third time.
He got it out the way, Nick. You got to appreciate him thinking ahead. He got it out.
Hold on. He got out of the way last year in preseason, warming up. Then he got hurt again in the season. When are we going to realize that we should just take our loss with this guy and just get rid of him? I don't even give a shit if he balls out this year. I don't want him here. I literally don't care. Like, to me, $3 million is as cheap as you're going to get. Cut the ties now and let somebody else earn that position. Like, why? Why even keep him around?
I think that this injury just solidified, like, we're not bringing him back later. I think that the Niners know they're moving on now. But like I said, listen, it's not that I disagree with you. I know you don't. Huh?
I said, I know you don't disagree with me. I know. I'm just
right. No. It's not that I disagree with you. I just don't know if the last guy, if guy number 54 is more valuable than Jimmy Ward. That's all I'm saying. If it's an offensive lineman, you know, if it's a defensive line, we're gonna have now our defensive line is really deep. We're gonna be forced to let go of someone that we like over there. You know what I mean? If you ask me, Mike, Jimmy Ward, or Julian Taylor, my hometown bias is gonna kick in. Jimmy Ward's got to go. But if you tell me Jimmy Ward or Trent Taylor, I think that we have three guys capable of playing the slot at a high level. Number one being Jordan Matthews. Trent Taylor can go. I don't think that we have solid backups at every position in the secondary that Jimmy Ward could bring to the table. I do see I know that he's always injured, guys. I'm not ignoring the injuries, but I just see a value in him being the rotational backup piece. He literally fills in everywhere in that secondary.
Yeah, but when he fills in on practice, he gets hurt.
I'm not ignoring.
How many times has he really been hurt in a game? In a game,
Nick, I know I'm not taking away from it.
So this is what I think it comes down to, and I know you agree with me, but this is really what it comes down to. Do you want to cut from a position? Do you want to cut? All right, so we have Tavarius Moore, we got DJ Reed, we got Anton Exum, we got Jaquiski Tart, we got Adrian Colbert. We got guys that can play that position, right? In that secondary. Would I rather keep 10 defensive linemen instead of 9 and cut Jimmy Ward? Yes. Would I rather keep 7 wide receivers instead of 6 and cut Jimmy Ward? Yes. Would I rather keep 4 running backs with Mostert, Coleman, whatever, all active on game day instead of Jimmy Ward? Absolutely. I will upgrade. I will take an add to one position on that team and get rid of Jimmy Ward.
All right, but what if it came down to Exum or Jimmy Ward?
I'd get rid of Ward.
See, that's where I'm different. If it came down to Exum or Ward, one, AC gets his 38 back, and Ward is a better backup at every position. Like Exum is not as good of a player.
It comes down to the not what ifs. I want to go with somebody who's going to stay healthy.
I get you, bro.
It has nothing to do with talent level here.
I know. No, I know. But health isn't guaranteed for anybody on this football field, man.
But your percentage is higher of keeping Exum healthy than it is for Ward.
You're right. Listen, I can't argue this. Let's stop. You got me, bro. I don't have a legit argument against for keeping Ward. I really don't. And I do think that even though he'll be healthy by week 1, I do think Ward gets injured again this season. I do think that. I have zero faith in him in playing 16. None at all.
Right. So why keep him here?
I mean, all right, let me ask you this. Jimmy Ward or Jason Verrett?
Jimmy Ward or Jason Verrett? I'm taking my chance on Verrett, and only because it's his first year here. This guy, Ward, has been on this team for 5 years, bro, and hasn't been able to play. I think, like I said, I don't even remember the last time he was actually hurt in a game. I think last year's injury was in a game.
They've been in the league the same exact amount of years. And Jimmy Ward has played in twice as many games as Jason Verrett.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is we don't know what Verrett's situation was with strength and conditioning and coaches and things like that. We know what it was with Jimmy Ward throughout with coaches. We don't know what it was with strength and conditioning, but we know his background here in San Francisco. We don't know what Verrett's background was, what kind of treatments he was getting and stuff with the Chargers. No clue. So I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to Jason Verrett because it's not a try, and try again.
But they're both here with new training staffs and things like that. I will say this, though. Here's an argument. Now, if you're looking at talent for talent, Jason Verrett is up here when Jimmy Ward is here. So there is a difference there, right? So that's a little tally for Jason Verrett. But Jimmy Ward is broken this dude's got to be like 100% adamantium by now. He's Wolverine. He's got all titanium bones. He's got nothing left to break. This is his last injury of his career. This guy broke this collarbone twice already. And somebody, I forget who it was, I think it was Matt in our room, was saying when they go in and fix that one, they might as well just fix the other one. Like, put a plate in on each side. Like you said, his forearm 3 times or 2 times. His ankle, the same foot he broke again. The same collarbone he's broken 2 times. Do you know how much more fragile that shit gets? Like, and you're small already. Like Marcus, I think Marcus that I had on the show when we were talking about coming at a higher rate of speed playing that safety position. You're going to get more contact and more, shoulder bluntness to that than you will. More blunt force to your shoulder than from closer to the line.
More blunt force. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I really think it's just time to cut ties. Like,
you got to look at how I've wanted to use him. And this is why people think I'm stubborn and all that stuff. Nick, where have I said I wanted Jimmy Ward to play? Since you've known me.
Well, you want to play nickel, but he's just not going to play there.
Right. And then if he's not there, then a backup at every position. I've never wanted Jimmy Ward to start. And so that's why people think I'm like just being stubborn because I said this before. That's not it. If we use Jimmy Ward the way I've been saying, he's either playing close to the line of scrimmage or he's not starting at all and he's just a rotational guy in case of an injury. And that's where I see the value in it. I would pay him $3 million to be that guy, to be the backup at legit 5 different spots in our secondary. I would give him $3 million for that.
But then what happens when he doesn't stay healthy and now you have a guy on the roster and you don't have a guy to fill in for that position?
No, well, you'll still have other guys. Like, you're never going to have just one backup at a position. That's
right. But this is what I mean. So let's say we keep Ward, right? And God forbids one of our safeties go down, right? And Ward is that guy. So now Ward is taking those second team snaps above an Exum, above a DJ Reed, above a Moore, above whoever in all those positions. He's taking snaps away from these other guys. And then here he game plans all week and takes the most snaps with the ones and twos. So your ones are going and your twos are going. The ones, whoever's playing the one gets hurt. So Ward moves up into that spot, and then something happens to him. Now the other guy has no idea what the game plan and can literally put this team. We've seen it all year. We've seen it this year.
That's on coaching. I think guys like I still think, look, you can pick whatever two you want. You can say Colbert and Tart. You can say Reed.
Well, I just didn't want to mention anybody's names because
no, I know. You can say Colbert and Tart as your starting two safeties. You can say Reed and Tart your starting two safeties. You got Jimmy Ward as the backup at both of those positions, but you also are going to have guys like Reed or Moore who are ready to slide into one of those positions anyway. So it's never really going to come down that way.
Let me ask you this question: Marcel Harris or Jimmy Ward?
I want Harris because he's younger and you got more time and durability with him already.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't think Harris is guy 50. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Harris is guy 54. I'm looking at Jimmy Ward as the last guy to make the roster. You get what I'm saying? I'm not looking at. I think Harris is guy 29 on the roster. I don't think he's way down in the pecking order. I'm looking at Jimmy Ward as guy 53 to make the roster, and then we got to look at who are we cutting to keep Jimmy Ward. I can't. That's like what you just asked me is basically Jimmy Ward or Nick Bosa. Give me Nick Bosa. Jimmy Ward or D Ford. Give me D Ford. You get what I'm saying? Jimmy Ward or Nick Mullins. Give me Nick Mullins. He's going to lose all of those things, but I'm talking about guys all the way at the end of the.
I got one for you. Greg Maben.
Jimmy Ward.
Or Jimmy Ward.
Jimmy Ward. You know how I feel about Greg Maben already. You already know. I'm mad that he's still. Never mind. I don't want to do that. This is going to be bad because we might end up speaking to Greg Maben before the season's over.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm just like, I'm just so. That's why I said, hold on, I got one. I'm just so over Jimmy Ward, man. I'm just so over.
What if Jimmy Ward has a year like Eric Armstead, where he finally played all 16 and Armstead looked okay? Like I get it, and I know it's not likely.
It's just because I think I'm tired of building things off of what ifs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really tired of seeing what ifs. Like, Mike, you know how bad I've been on Jimmy Ward for the last 3 years.
Yeah, but 33% of this team is all what ifs. Everybody's got injury history on this roster, dude. Literally. Everyone except Nick Mullins on offense has injury history. Joe Staley has been injured before. Tomlinson's been injured. Our center in Weston Richburg has been injured. Joshua Garnett or Mike Person has been injured.
Right, but we're talking injuries. When we're talking injuries that maybe miss snaps or a game, not an entire season. This guy has landed on the IR for the last 4 years.
That's not fair, though. But he's never missed all 16 games, bro. That's not fair.
Football is a game of injuries. You're gonna get these nagging to where you miss a game or you miss a couple, miss 10 or 15 snaps at the end of the game. But when you land on an IR, that's a true injury. Jimmy Ward is the IR king of this team. Yes or no?
I think he's been on IR more than anybody else, probably.
Right. So, like I said, if he comes back and he balls, then great, right? But I just don't want it hurting us as in, well, it's only $3 million. Let's just keep him around. Let's cut somebody else who could actually, we don't even know what they could be because of the fact we're keeping Jimmy Ward when Jimmy Ward has had way over 3 strikes. We're going into year 6 and he hasn't even gotten a single yet. Like he's landed on the IR pretty much every year for his career. So I think I'm just tired of the what ifs, and that's why I say just take.
And that's a super fair assessment. Like I said, I can't argue off the ledge of how frequent the injuries and things like that are with Jimmy Ward. Like, and I even said it myself tonight. I don't think he's going to stay healthy, even if we relinquish him to just a backup position. I have zero faith that Jimmy Ward plays out this year. I'm just saying that there's not many guys at the bottom of the roster that I would take over Jimmy Ward. So
can we start a Got Milk campaign for him or something?
He needs some milk.
But yeah, I don't know, man. All right, so here you go. Mark Espinoza, last question, and we'll get out of here. Mark Espinoza says, Nick, ask Mike, Malcolm Smith or Jimmy Ward?
Oh, we're signing off. Oh my God, that's rough. If I really had to choose, whew. Oh man. Ooh. No, I dislike Malcolm Smith more than I dislike Jimmy Ward. I at least see the value in Jimmy Ward if healthy. Even when Malcolm Smith is healthy, I just think he's a liability out there. So yeah. Have you? Hey, by the way, this whole weekend, and this has nothing to do with football now. We're pretty much done. Have you heard that Old Town Road song with Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas X?
Yeah, with the horse thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, my kids requested to hear that song so much. So all night long we've been sitting here, and every time I go on mute, I'm singing the song. I'm singing. It's not even the whole song. It's just Billy Ray Cyrus's part. You know what I'm talking about? He's like top down, out of town. So, like he's killing that shit, yo. I got that shit stuck in my head so much, man. Billy Ray kill. I'm sorry. I know that has nothing to do with it, but that song right there has been stuck in my head all day, well, all weekend. Like that's
Billy Ray was actually a really good artist.
Yeah, man. He killed that part.
Yeah. That's like one of the most popular songs out right now, man. And you got little girls too, so they're like trying to sing that song.
Yeah, no, and it's not just them though. Derek is doing it too. Like he's oh my
That's what I'm saying. Like they're all at that age right now. Like they hear that song and it's like, it's the new hip song that's out that everybody's singing. I don't remember how it goes, but we can't play it obviously because then we'll get banned from YouTube.
I wonder if we get banned if I was like to like sing it. Like just the part that's stuck in my head. Like it's so annoying, man. Like Billy Ray. Oh my God, he killed that shit, man. It's stuck in my head, and I hate my kids for getting it stuck in my head. It's super annoying. I'm sorry.
You know what else is super annoying? Jimmy Ward.
Oh my God, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I really am sorry about. I wish I could take someone else, but I don't have anybody. He almost had me with that Malcolm Smith, but
here you go. Here's one. I'll give you an offensive player and a defensive player. The new tight end Toilolo or Jimmy Ward. The difference in keeping three tight ends or Jimmy Ward.
I think we need to have three tight ends no matter what. And if that's what they're going to do, then give me.
All right, so let's just say keeping four tight ends because of the concussion protocol for Selleck, and they don't cut Selleck.
I would say no. I don't think we should keep four tight ends. I think three tight ends on the 53 is okay. Get someone and stash them on the practice squad. I think just three tight ends.
We got to do a show on what we're keeping.
Yeah.
An early predicament of what, not players, but numbers.
I'm with you. We can do that this week.
Yeah.
Before we see anything in preseason, right?
Yeah. Before we see anything in preseason, let's set our minds together and say, all right, we're going to keep 9 at, such and such position. And Mike's over there. Hold on. I'm going to show you all what Mike's doing because
the song is stuck in my head, bro. I can't get it out of my head. Hat down, cross town, living like a rock star, spending a lot of money on my brand new guitar. He was killing that shit, man. Like,
yo, and did y'all notice that he had the country voice in there?
Because that's how he sings it. What do you want me to do?
Down.
That's how he sings it, man.
Well, he's a country artist.
I'm sorry. All right, I'm done. Get me off of this thing, man. I got the goofy juice running through me, man.
He's got the goofy Budweiser in him.
Yeah.
And I just got the goofy tiredness tonight. My eyes are like glazed over. So, all right, yeah. So we'll definitely Yeah, let's do that either tomorrow or Thursday night, and maybe we'll bring some fans on. I know JD Hawk Hater TV is wanting to been joining us. Marcus wants to join us again. We'll get some people on here and we can talk. We can do that. We can go through and I'll touch base with one or both of those guys and see if they want to join us.
Jay Novell also off of Twitter. He's been
but he wants to come on for a debate night.
Oh, he just wants to argue?
Yeah, he just wants to argue. So that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's that night, though, not goofy like I am now with unisex. Unison.
Right, yeah, you can argue with him. I'll be the moderator then. That's fine with me.
I don't know, man. You're an instigator.
It's true. It's my natural position.
Yeah. I might have to instigate and let you argue. But I don't think he wants to argue with you. But anyway, yeah, I'll talk to JD and I'll talk to Marcus as well, and then let them know what we're going to talk about, and then we'll bring those two guys on. You want to do it Tuesday or Thursday night?
You talking about they have people on? We'll stick to Thursday nights for people non-NBN coming on. That's fine with me.
Yeah, sounds good to me too. So, all right, guys, I don't really have anything else, but I'm getting tired, so.
Hat down, cross town, living like a rock star, spending a lot of money on my brand new guitar. Kill that shit. All right, man. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.
We out of here. Peace.